Hey guys, welcome to RVing with Zeus. We're at the back end of Zeus right now. We're going to go over how I install my drop hitch system so I can tow my car. Before we get started, some safety concerns. You want to make sure that you check all your wiring. Make sure there's no frayed wires. Make sure the ends, the terminals are uh, in good shape. I like to put dielectric grease inside the terminals and on the outside. I put a lot on too. I don't spare the dielectric grease. It's a perfect preservative when it comes to these terminals oxidizing in the air, especially during storage. You want to check the hitch system, make sure that the welds are good shape. There's not a lot of heavy rust, and the frame itself is in good shape. If you see that the frame is starting to fall apart and it's structurally unsafe, and you want to probably consider replacing this hitch system. Um, Also, understanding and reading your safety labels about, like max tow capacity and whatnot. This particular system says that the max uh, amount would be 5,000 pounds. Okay, uh, max gross trailer weight. So whatever it is that you're towing cannot exceed 5,000 pounds. All right. Um, the tongue weight, straight down weight, is maximum is 500 pounds. So you want to take that in consideration. If you're going to tow a big, and I've seen this, if you're going to tow like a Duramax diesel, that's a pretty heavy vehicle. You want to think about possibly upgrading this, so maybe to 10,000 pounds. Um, Anyways, I'm towing a 2007 Chevy Cobalt. The car weighs about 2,200 pounds, so I'm not overly concerned about that. All right, so before me, you have a drop hitch system. I picked this up at Amazon. It's rated for 10,000 pounds, and I'll tell you why I got it to be so heavy. So first of all, as you notice, I'm like in a crouch position right now, and this hitch is almost to the height of my head. This is about 2.5 feet right now. The vehicle bumper is about right here, or where the height of this drop system is right now is really the height of my bumper, where actually the tow bar connects. Okay, it's actually underneath the bumper. You want to make sure that your tow bar is perfectly parallel with the road. You don't want it to be angled in any way. You don't want it to be angled up. You don't want it to be angled down. You want it to be perfectly parallel to the road. Safety feature, because if you have to stop really fast, you want that weight to be, the whole system to be perfectly horizontal. I did have an incident once where I did some damage to my car because our towing system was actually up here. I never had a drop down system, and my tow bar was actually angled down. So there's another video that goes into detail with that. Anyways, this is rated for 10,000 pounds. This tongue is solid steel. This tongue right here. This drop down bar is solid steel. Then I have a receiver here, a lower receiver that takes the tow bar, and I have an upper receiver hitch that takes the bike rack. Um, let's talk about safety and protection, security. I have these hitch locks that I bought at Home Depot. $15, $20 at Home Depot or Lowe's. And when I put the system in, I do not take it out until the end of the season. It doesn't make sense for me to keep taking it off and put it back on again. So I lock the system. This one lock here goes to the top part of the tongue, and then this part here goes to the bottom part of the tongue that locks in my tow bar. Bike rack, I'm not too overly concerned. I have a bolt that goes through that, and it's bolted in. So it's going to take a really good socket set or wrench to get that apart. So I'm not too overly concerned. You can put a lock on there if you want to, especially if you spend quite a bit of money on your bike rack. So anyways, I'm going to show you how I do this. I have a piece of metal, flat piece of metal that I'm using as a spacer. You don't want any movement on this hitching system. And what I mean by that is that when I put the system in, you don't want this. Okay, you see how this is moving right now? I have it out quite a bit so that it does this on purpose. I'm doing this on purpose to show you that you cannot have this kind of play when you have a towing system. All right. So what I did was I grabbed myself a spacer, a piece of spacer steel, and I'm inserting it inside the hitch. And now there's no movement. Okay, it's secure. So this is basically the drop-down system right now. It goes down 10 inches. This is for my bike rack. This is for my tow bar. I do put some anti-seize. That's why I'm wearing gloves. There's anti-seize on the locking pins so that it doesn't seize into the hitch. Go. All right. Now, what you want to do also is you want to lubricate these locks, because if you don't, they're going to seize up inside and cause a world of problem. And what I like to do is get some WD-40. You're going to spray the inside, you're going to spray the locking mechanism, just like so. Go. This rag. You can't see it on this side, but what I just did is I locked the pin in. Now what I'm doing is I'm just spraying the locking mechanism itself so that it stays lubricated. And there you have it. That's the first part right here. If you can also, you want to make sure that you cover the actual insert where the key goes, the key lock. You want to, if it comes with a cap, it's awesome because it'll cover it up and protect it from the environment. Otherwise, you're going to end up seizing it up, and you're going to have to go spend some more money and get another one. Always make sure that your locking keys are working perfectly. If they're not functioning properly, if the drum is starting to get loose, if you see the keys like, you know, sometimes you have like another key you can put in, and if you see that a different key is actually unlocking it, that means the drum inside is wearing out. It's time to get it replaced, because the last thing you want is to get this stuff taken, and I've seen it happen. All right, this is a pretty expensive system right here. I paid quite a bit of money for it on Amazon, and it's worth every penny, and it does exactly what I want it to do. So now what I have here is the bike rack system. All right, this is pretty straightforward. All it is a bolt that has a cotter pin lock into it. Again, I like to spray this with WD-40. I got this bike rack at Walmart, of all places, way long ago. And it's a 4 bike rack system. Simply slide it in. I got my bolt. Spraying the whole thing. So what this is, it goes through the hitch that comes on the bike rack. There's a thread there, and this bolt actually screws right in all the way. I don't have a socket set on me right now, but I'm going to tighten this down so there's no play in it whatsoever. And then, for added safety feature, I have this electroplated D-ring lock I'm going to put through and lock it in just like that. I torqued this down with a socket set. So if someone wanted to steal this, they'd have to have a socket set or something to get this out. I don't really lock these. You can if you want to, especially if you spend quite a bit of money on these bike racks. You can get a locking system like this one here and put it here. You just have to get one that it's going to fit inside the system. So now, as you can see, I have my drop system. I have my bike rack put in. And now the next step would be just to put in my hitching system. And again, WD-40. Alright. This thing does have some weight on it. So look at all it does, it goes inside here. Alright, so I just put the lock on. You always want to make sure that it doesn't come off. I'm going to spray this again. Now we protected it. And there you have it. I'm just tightening down these straps right now. There you go. Alright, so this is a Ready Brake from NSA. This Ready Brake system here is rated at 8,500 pounds. This is rated at 10,000 pounds. The hitch is rated at 5,000 pounds. The hitch downforce weight is 500 pounds. Okay? The way this works, if you can see here, there's a bar right here, and there's a plunger right here. This space here is designed on purpose. What happens is you're driving down the road and you're stopping, the weight and the movement, the forward momentum of the car is going to push on this plunger. This part of the bar is going to push actually all the way up front. It stops just before the hitch. It doesn't hinder that. And what's going to happen is it's going to pull this bar, and then this cable is going to go back to the car. It's going to pull the car cable that goes into the bumper of the car, and there's a cable that goes from the bumper to the braking pedal inside the vehicle. And it's going to pull on that cable, which means it's going to pull on the braking pedal, which is going to, the car is going to help assist in slowing down. So I'm not using the RVs to stop the entire weight of the car. I have the car helping the RV stop, which is really important. You want to have that safety system in place. Some kind of braking system, whether it be mechanical or electrical, you need to have that set up. I also have breakaway cables that attach to this. Alright, and those are attached to the tow bar on the Cobalt, so in case this part breaks, you have the cables holding the vehicle in place. And they did work, because I had an incident once where my tow bar broke and the cables were the only thing holding the Cobalt behind the RV. If I didn't have the cabling system there, the breakaway cables, the car would have sailed off into the sunset on its own somewhere and crashed into another car and cause a nightmare, and it would really put a kibosh on your travels. So make sure you have the proper emergency breakaway cables. Make sure your lighting system works. And don't be afraid to rack this thing. Make sure that it's sound. There's not a lot of movement at this at all. And there you go. There you have it. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching RVing with Zeus.